UBF family. We are here.
Testing 1, testing 1, 2, testing 2, 1. We're here with Adamo. Adamo, what do you think of Dominic Soboslai?
Oh, what a player. Best midfielder in the world.
Testing 2, testing 3.
4, 5, 6.
1, 2. Testing 2, 1, 1, 2. Number 1 for the Wanderers, Tristan Vidakovic.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are here at Belmore. Oh, yes, sorry, yes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's run through the lineups. Do you want me to stop?
We're here with the Western Sydney Wanderers versus Sydney.
Okay.
Got it?
You're just on the louder, so I'll keep your mic a bit further away from you.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Test 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Belmore. It is a huge game this afternoon. Kickoff delayed slightly. You know what they say, Thomas Miltich, the good things in life you have to wait for.
They do. They also say good things come in small packages as well, Adamo. That's why we're both here.
That's what I tell my missus all the time.
Yeah, good, perfect.
33, Maximilian Newbridge, and number 40, Anthony Carreras. For the visiting Western Sydney Wanderers Academy, we have number 1, Tristan Vidakovic, number 4, Nathan Barry, number 6, Oscar Morrison, number 7, Alat Abdul Rahman, number 8, Julian Kopp.
Good afternoon and welcome to Belmore Sports Ground. Thankfully, the thunder has subsided. That's why this kickoff has been delayed by 30 minutes. But something that is more scary than lightning is the prospect of this great club, Sydney Olympic, getting relegated. They come into this afternoon's game with the Western Sydney Wanderers in the relegation zone, and they take on a red-hot team from Western Sydney. Pani Nikas ball has the team from Wonderland one spot outside the top 6. I'm joined by Thomas Militic. Tommy, what are your thoughts on today's game? What a cracker we have here.
Tomo, first of all, what an intro, mate.
Thank you, brother.
Intro class from yourself, man. It's looking really, really good. I think it's a reverse from last year. We've got perfectly poised the West Sydney Wanderers this year compared to last year. Completely different side. They look together. They look like a unit. Sydney Olympic, on the other hand, unfortunately, find themselves in the relegation zone, as you said.
Yeah, it's crazy to think of Sydney Olympic, a team that's lifted the old NSL, that you only have to look back 4 years ago, back to 2022. Time flies. 2022, this team was premiers.
Yep.
Now, they come into this one 15th, which isn't automatic relegation in New South Wales, Tommy. It's that dreaded promotion relegation playoff. But coming into this season, you would have expected Sydney Olympic, yes, wholesale changes, but they'll be pushing for finals football. Wanderers will be pushing to stay alive. But as it stands, in this delayed kickoff, it is the Western Sydney Wanderers in their beautiful all-white kit looking to jump into the top 6. Pani Nikas has this team playing scintillating football. Can they add another huge scalp, one of the Australian Championship Foundation clubs? Or will Sydney Olympic season start now? Wanderers get us underway, going from right to left in that aforementioned white kit. Nice white kit, isn't it, Tom?
It's a beautiful white kit. The tinge of red stripes across as well.
I do like it. It's a beautiful touch. And Sydney Olympic, of course, in that beautiful Hellas blue. And it's Wanderers on the front foot straight away. And with that little break in play, I'm going to give you the lineup. Olympic unchanged from the team that went down by 2-0 here to St. George FC. Josip Olovic in goals. The centre-back pairing of Sam Bosniak and Ziggy Gordon. Jason Chesoglovic and Ben Gierson are the fullbacks. It is in midfield, Josh Hong, Yuta Komora and Marcus Fernandez. Big job for this front three today. Yuto Fujita, Bailey Callahan on the right, and Marko Arambasic up front. Tommy, who's the key today for Sydney Olympic in your opinion?
For me, it has to be the inputs. The two Japanese boys have been absolutely incredible this season, and I believe without them, they would be facing a very dangerous prospect in that relegation zone. On the Wanderers, on the other hand, that front three very scary. Jai Rose, Nuau, and Alat Abdul Rahman have been electric this year.
Oh, let's get into it. 3 changes for Western Sydney, 3 big changes. Tristan Vidakovic is in goals. He was immense. One of the 3 changes comes in the middle of their defence. Nathan Barry comes in to partner Noah Ovens. Rocco McNamara and Bradley Marzul are the fullbacks. It's a midfield 3. Oscar Morrison in 6. Julian Kopp in 8. Inform Harper Riles in 10, but the front 3 is what's going to get Western Sydney Wanderers fans, because, Tommy, I know Wanderers fans, they are amazing. They watch the NPL, they watch the first grade, they watch the women's team. They're watching today, and they're watching stars of the future into the lineup in that front 3. Jai Rose, Awan Lawal, and Alit Abdul Rahman.
Absolutely. And Adama, you posted a very interesting story this morning, rightfully so. The Wanderers front 3 is very reminiscent of that game 2 years ago.
That game, I love bringing this story up, and I feel like I've commentated a fair few Western Sydney Wanderers and Sydney Olympic games. And can I say, when Western Sydney always seem to turn up for this game, it's always entertaining. I hope I don't jinx it, but I take you back to a couple of years ago, a 3-2 game at Wonderland, a game that was postponed because of fireworks. And speaking of fireworks, here's a move down the left-hand side for Sydney Olympic. I'm going to park that story momentarily. They get a ball into the back post looking for Callahan, but it's behind the winger and out for a goal kick. Crazy game, that one. Western Sydney won that, and NPL fans, if you remember, that was when the Wanderers were our runaway leaders at one stage. And you just run through some of the names that were in that Western Sydney team. It's absurd.
Incredible.
Incredible. Names like Dylan Cicluna, who's I'm hearing is going to be switching allegiance so he could play for the Socceroos. Anthony Pantazopoulos missed the Sydney Derby. Nathaniel Blair, Alex Badolato, Zach Sapsford. Some big names. Nathaniel Blair.
Eunice as well.
Marcus Eunice, of course. So many names. And that's the beautiful thing when you watch these academy teams, is that you're watching the future of Australian football. And I'll tell you what, it was a stacked Sydney Olympic team that day as well. The Belmore Bullet got on the score sheet. Teng Kuol. Congratulations to Teng. South Sudanese call up for him. Roy O'Donovan, of course. And since the departure of Roy O'Donovan, he leaves unfillable shoes up front. But you have to give Sydney Olympic credit. They have at least attempted to replace him well. Heavy touch there, Vidakovic. Where's that one on the chest? He does really well to deal with that one. That could have been a potential nightmare. But last year it was Gloria Manda and Cyrus Demi. And this year, Marko Arambasic, who I'm a big fan of, loved him in the limited football he played at Sydney United. He had a crazy year last year, Tommy. He started the season playing for Spirit 20s and first grade, finished up playing in the Oz Championship for Sydney United, and here he is at Sydney Olympic.
Big traditional striker. We love those. We love those.
Good to see that, as football is a return to Route 1 football, and it comes back in fashion. It's good to see the big target man.
We love it. We love it.
Particularly in this level of football, I think there's still a use for it, and there's good energy here from Olympic to start this game. And you mentioned the two Japanese players. Very keen to see them today. Like, that's where the battle's going to be won and lost. There's Wanderers offside there. Not too many, lots of turnover typically for an A-League academy team, but Sydney Olympic, just 4 remaining players from last season. You think of all the names that they lost, the fact that they had an Australian Championship as well, so not only do you have all these new players getting integrated into the team, you then don't get to work with them till January. So, Tommy, do you think it's a case of, as the season progresses, we could see Sydney Olympic get better?
I think so as well, and just on that point for the Australian Championship, people were talking to me, Ali Ugla in the NPL next year is going to be incredible. People forgetting he only signed for the Australian Championship.
Yep.
So people have this expectation where Olympic have all these players, but it was a massive clean out, as you alluded to. And I think only with that team building together over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, rounds, hopefully, that they're going to climb up the ladder, because they've definitely got, as you alluded to, that talent in this squad.
Without getting too much into the politics of what goes on behind the scenes, you speak to people. I think it was a well overdue reset at the club.
Yep.
And naturally, of course, Olympic, as we know, very passionate fan base, very traditional fan base. They want success. It's a 30-game season, though, as well. And, of course, we've got the Australian Championship. There's the Australian Cup that's going to be starting soon as well. So I think patience is a must. And then when you have senior players like this man on the ball as well, I think they have enough pieces to build around. And exciting to see what Olympic can do, because that's a misplaced pass there by Olovic. Just like in the A-League, there are certain teams that you want to do well.
Absolutely.
And that's the same in the New South Wales NPL. You want to see a good Olympic. You want to see a good Sydney United as well. And that's what we're seeing, which is great to see. They're our runaway leaders. You also love seeing these academy teams with just players that you can earmark and say, I'll be watching him in the A-League very soon. I'll be seeing him move to Europe very soon.
Speaking on that point, Joy Rose yesterday again, another successful appearance in the A-League when he came off the bench. How good is his future, Donna?
Oh, sky's the limit for him as they go long, looking that time for Lual, another player who's had a handful of A-League men's games as well, scored against the Newcastle Jets. Here come Olympic, though, on the other end. Goes down that left-hand side and across, looking for Callahan once again. So I think that is going to be a battle. Fajita against Marzul.
You can already see what Olympics trying to do, Adama, from their standpoint, trying to get the ball in that channel as quickly as possible, because he's their danger man.
When you have a big target like Marko Arambasic, just no surprise there. That one just skipped ahead of Marcus Fernandez, an ex-Western Sydney Wanderer. Such a fantastic academy, of course. Naturally, you can't keep all of them. You can't play all of them as well. So you see so many ex-Wanderers academy players sprinkled across this league as they go long, looking for Lual. The flag's up again. So Lual playing on that last line.
He's shot that a couple of times, Adama.
He has.
He's just been caught there again. Sydney Olympic got to be careful, because they are trying to hold that line against Lual, Alat and Rose, all relatively 3 quick pacey players.
Yeah, definitely walking the tightrope there. Figuratively and metaphorically. And They're skipping past now. Nice run here and a chance for the cross. Lual wants it. It goes in the direction of Lual, but picked off by Orlovic, another player who left Sydney United looking for more game time here at Olympic. Here comes Fernandez, little bit of space. I think he may have been looking for Callahan. It hit Adam Basic. It now lands to Adam Basic. Sliding was Barry. I think maybe Adam Basic made a little bit of a souvlaki out of that one. Olympic looked to play on. I was going to say made a meal out of that one, Tommy, but I can just smell the barbecue right underneath our commentary point. When you're trying to diet and stay low on the calories, it's not good whenever you make the trip down to Belmore.
Got to throw in a cultural reference whenever you're out at an Olympic or a Marconi.
Absolutely. So I could tick that one off the commentator word bingo, as Wanderers look to play out from the back now. And
you can just see Lual again now at arms, just always within a whisker of Ziggy Gordon, floating on and off side. It's going to be an interesting battle there for the remainder of this game.
It is, and he's timed a couple runs, but you have a feeling, Tommy, he's going to get one right.
Yeah, correct.
And a player with his talent and also physical attributes as well, you don't want to get him one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Definitely not. Could be that decisive moment there, Dams.
Definitely. He's got 3 goals already this season. Both these teams can score goals, and they can concede them as well. And we saw that was an issue for Sydney Olympic in the Australian Championship. Just to use a cliche, hot and cold. They go long looking for Rose. Strong header there by Giason. We've seen Bailey Callahan. He was one of the 4 players retained. Didn't play too much football last season, but has now stepped up into a bigger role with all that change now. So good to get some continuity there. Of course, David Magrone, the new manager. It's going to take a while before we see his football implemented. And speaking about new managers, what a job Pani Nikas has done.
Yes. Absolutely incredible. And we sort of touched on at the start of our commentary.
Delicate ball there for Lual. He gets the run right this time, and he's onside, but coming across was Bosniak, and he concedes the corner. Little warning sign there from Western Sydney's number 9.
That's the danger that he can pose. Lual, Rose as well. In the lat last year, he sort of started in that number 9 position, flowed towards the wing, and Pani, I think that's one of his master strokes that he's done there, because Abdulrahman has absolutely flourished this season.
I get the impression with Abdulrahman that you put any ball in front of him and he would dominate. He is just a supreme athlete. Here he is taking it short now. Better angle there for the cross, perhaps. Another youngster that's tasted A-League men's football. It's just, unfortunately for many of these youth products, it's hard when you're playing a position. You've got a player like Ryan Fraser that comes over with over 100 games of Premier League experience and hits the ground running as well.
But then again, if you look at the context of the Wanderers season, unfortunately they're not doing the best in the A-League. Is it time to put in these NPL players?
I would love to see it, personally. I would love to see it. I'd be very interested to hear the fans' perspective on that as well, because you're right, it's at the stage of the season where I think finals I think you could say goodbye to, so why not blood the next generation? Lovely switch and a good touch by Rose. I think we're going to be seeing more of him, that's for sure. Beautiful switch again. Is it going to sit up there for Abdul Rahman? Not that time.
That's the idea there, Adama. You can see it's that quick transitional play that the Wanderers have been excellent at this year.
And that's one thing about Western Sydney. It didn't matter if it was Chicardozo or Andrew Christensen and now Pani Nikas. They play their style of football, and sometimes to their detriment as well. Maybe when you need an experienced head to just close out a game. But that's one thing about when you watch all these kids from these A-League Academy teams. They play a very attractive brand of football, and it's, to use another cliche, I've used a few today, but it's live by the sword, die by the sword.
That's it. Commentator bingos are...
I know, we're racking it off. If you're following at home, I think that's at least 3 cliches that I've just rattled through then. Goalless here. The game is in the balance, to use another one. I think Western Sydney would be happy with how this game has gone so far. They've absorbed a little bit of early pressure, but they do look dangerous when they attack. Intercepted that time by Cobb. Morrison. dealt with by Shosoglovic, who had a tough day last week against St. George FC.
It's Kimura.
Olympic favouring that left-hand side.
Definitely.
Surprises the two Japanese linking up so far, Fujita and Kimura. Honda is patient though. And so far rock solid in defence, and as we know they can click into attacking gear in an instant. And here they come down the left-hand side.
Both sides just happy to sit on the ball, try to build momentum into this half. Bit of a frantic start to the game, Adama. Good to see from both sides, looking to set the tempo.
Definitely, I know it's early in the season, but a huge 3 points on offer here for Olympic. Olivic has had to be alert on a couple of occasions. Look at their season. Not the worst start. 5 past SD Raiders early. Of course, a game that was influenced by a red card. The last few weeks has been really tough. They threw away 3 points. They were 2-0 up against St. George City, and since then they've just nosedived down the table. 3 losses in a row. They go long looking for Adam Basic. Keeper's going to be brought into play here. Vidakovic. McNamara. Looking for someone in that front 3, but it was cut off by Hong. Fernandez. Kimura, commentator's dream, Yuto Kimura. He's got those beautiful fluorescent orange boots.
Can't mistake him.
Nah, you love that. Abdul Rahman, also a commentator's dream. He's got the ponytail, which even from the opposite side of the field, you could pick out. The last 3 games, Tommy, tough for Sydney Olympic. That 4-1 loss to Rockdale. Going down 2-0 last week to a red-hot St. George FC, whose crazy clean sheet streak continued. The Olympic yet to keep a clean sheet this season. They would love one today, and 3 points. Great tackle from Chosoglovic. He's had a strong start to this game. Kimura. Orlovic back into play, and he was put under pressure there. And then Giason.
Wonder was pressing high.
Great press there by Rose, and wins his team a throw. Good press there, and nervy stuff playing out the back from Olympic.
Wanderers on the other hand, Dams 3 wins, 3 losses, yet to draw a game. It's amazing. So you can tell 50-50 they're gung-ho. They're either going to win or they're either going to...
Great for neutrals. There's no fence sitting from Western Sydney. Very impressive last fortnight. Particularly that win at the Sutherland Sharks. The Sharks still gelling under the new manager David Perkovic, but I think they put the league on notice, Western Sydney, with that 3-2 win. Here they come down the left-hand side. They might put Olympic on notice. Ziggy Gordon, of course, the next Western Sydney Wanderer. Good long. Ovens. These are back to Barry. 1 of 3 changes if you're just joining us now. Sydney, with a win here, can jump into the top 6. The Olympic, after UNSW picked up their first win of the season, the first win ever in the top flight, have moved into the bottom 2. Chance of the cross here. Rose is free at the back post if they can pick him out. They go in that direction, but it's cut off by Giason, and lovely feet there by Fernandez, who plays it out to Callahan. A bit of grass for him to drive at. Bailey Callahan, he's got support out on the right-hand side. He's going himself here, Bailey Callahan. Adam Basic does go out wide, but the pass probably should have been maybe a few seconds earlier to Ben Giason.
Sort of sums up the Olympics last fortnight. You would say, Dams, just that miscommunication, not flowing, the synergy's not there yet, but definitely time to build and still in this game.
It's crazy, Tommy, what a win can do. Just transform their season a little bit.
Psychologically as well.
Psychologically for this team. I was at the UNSW game last night. You saw what that win meant to the club for the morale going forward. And they're going to have to show some defensive grit here. Here's Elite Abdul Rahman, squares it up for Awan Lual and Western Sydney Wanderers. Just like that, hit the front, lightning fast break, finished off by Lual. And Western Sydney danced their way into the lead thanks to their number 9, who has his 4th goal of the season.
Route 1 football, Dams, we said it. The City Olympic line was very high, left themselves exposed. Alat Abdurrahman with a beautiful cross-goal ball. And Luau, he throws for breakfast every day of the week, Dams.
They've been playing that high line, Tommy, like you mentioned, and that time punished. Route 1, it's the quickest route. It's rapid, and just like that, when it looked like I think the Olympic had the chance.
Got a bit of momentum as well.
Coming into this game, cool head there from Abdul Rahman as well to square it up for Awan Lual. Back into the starting lineup, into the score sheet, and Sydney Olympic, a little bit of deja vu starting to creep in here. They've been here before this season, not necessarily playing poorly, but they find themselves behind and they flick it on now to Jerson, looking for an instant response.
Here's his team a corner.
Huge inclusion. Getting not only Jai Rose, but Awan Lual back into the starting lineup. Pani Nikas with, could say, his full strength front 3. Looking for the angle for the shot. This is Fujita. Is it to Tresoglovic? And they play it back to Orlovic. Just joining us now, Awan Lual's 4th goal of the season. He's put Western Sydney level, and the early signs in this game, they look susceptible to a ball like that led to the opener. When you play that high line, Western Sydney have the pace to make you pay.
Pace and intelligence, and from this wonderful view here at Belmore Dams, got a perfect angle of it. We've been trying to call it all game. We could see what the Wanderers were doing. What they do best is that's that quick transition, and they absolutely killed Sydney Olympic.
And Nikas would be loving what he's seen from his young team. And it's such a juggling act for academy managers because, of course, every other manager in this competition, their job is to finish as high as possible and to win the championship. But their KPI ultimately, I'm going to park that for a second, here's Adam Basic, goes down, and the assistant is flagging the other way. That's been an interesting battle, him and Barry. Hit the deck a couple times, and I have to say, in the early goings, advantage for the young Western Sydney defender. But Pani Nikas, his role ultimately is to supplement the A-League team.
Absolutely.
So, like we've seen in the past with Western Sydney teams in the NPL, you can be a victim of your own success. You have players playing well. One week they'll win 4-0, the next week they lose all those players because they get called up to the A-League team, and you have an entirely new team. Barry. Head tennis here. Brought down eventually. Here's Rose. Dinks it over to the top. Looking for Lual. Can he bring it down? That's an awkward one for Ziggy Gordon. Awan Lual punishes Sydney Olympic, and he has a double.
2 goals in 10 minutes for the starman, Awan Luau. The West Sydney Wanderers lead here at Belmore Sports Grounds, 2, Sydney Olympic 0. Adamo, we've been calling it all game, that Route 1 football, ball over the top, and Luau makes it 2 for 2.
They go direct once again. The bouncing ball, an absolute nightmare for that Sydney Olympic back line. They couldn't deal with the bouncing ball. They put it on a plate for Awan Lual. And he says, thank you very much. I'll have my 2nd today and my 5th for the season.
So he's had his breakfast. He's finished his lunch. Is he going to get his dinner?
Hat-trick on the cards here, and with the mood that Western Sydney are in, I would not rule that out, Tommy.
They look hungry. They
definitely
really
do, and
vicious
they're
for blood.
clinical at the moment. They certainly can. Tommy Militic joining me here for this one. We were expecting a Sydney Olympic response. It's way too early to say season on the line, only round 7, but turning point, potentially. And you have to say it's Western Sydney showing that they are, when at full strength, the real deal. 3 changes. Owen Lual was one of them, and he's got himself a double. I don't have the stats in front of me, Tommy, but I have a feeling he might be the top goal scorer in the competition as well.
I think it's close between him and Sydney United's Kuslovic as well.
Yep.
Up there.
Some good goal scorers in this competition as well. Now that foul there on McNamara by Fernandez. Huge next 5 minutes coming up here. It's important that Olympic just don't lose their head. And it could get ugly.
I would argue as well, not just for this half, but for the context of this game.
Absolutely. Of course, anyone that was watching the Australian Championship over the summer has plenty of space here for McNamara. He's got Lual in the middle and Rose peeling off short. He goes to his number 10. Here's Kopp. So far, Wanderers' backline hasn't really been tested. Couple crosses, maybe a little bit over hit, some quarter shouts at a penalty, but it's been rock solid and up front as we expected, Tommy. Lethal and clinical.
You've got the quality most definitely. I think the dark picture, I just spotted him with a coffee cup in his left hand. I think he's enjoying this period of dominance for the Western Wanderers.
Which is a complete contrast to his game last Friday night at Manly. As they're on the attack once again, they go long, and we've seen this a few times. The linesman flagging for offside. They're playing right on the last centimetre, right on the defender's heel here, Tommy. And they've mistimed it a couple of times, but they've also got it right a couple of times, and that is why the score reads Western Sydney 2, Sydney Olympic 0.
It's a beautiful league, the NPL, because you see a lot of different coaches employ a lot of different strategies and tactics and formations.
Chance here for Callahan, but Yudakovic was there to read it. It bounces up and awkwardly onto his thigh, and thankfully for him, it lands to a player in white. Still there, though, for Olympic. Jason trying to keep that one in. He'll be happy to get the throw there. And you're right, it's definitely a clash in styles. Makes this level of football so beautiful to watch. And right now we're seeing youthful attacking football in a comfortable position. Ball in. Olympic looking for a bit of Route 1 football themselves. Abdul Rahman. What would be an absolute handful. I was a left back, right back in my Sunday League days. I would have hated to have drawn him as an assignment. Bit of space out wide. They'll go for the shot instead. Looks like it took a touch, and it did. A chance for Olympic to get back into the game. Definitely, I wouldn't say have started this game poorly, just punished, particularly that second goal.
You're right, Adams. I don't think they started poorly. I think they've just been overwhelmed. Good chance to respond, though, here from the corner.
Good ball. Looking for Gordon. Flicked on. Chance for that second ball. Here's Jerson. Callahan. Bit of space for the cross. While he's got himself a double, but he's getting back there defending and running. He's going to have to do a bit more running as Jerson has some room. Can't get it over the first defender. It's for the cross. They've had a few chances, just unable to get some air under that cross, which will be frustrating. David Magrone, their manager, unable to make that count.
Just in those key metric stumps there, just not winning those battles.
After a good opening few minutes, to say Western Sydney have done a good job just containing that Japanese duo that you earmarked at the start of the game as being key for Sydney Olympic. Callahan turns straight into McNamara. If you're wondering, maybe you've joined us late, you found out You heard this game started at 5 and you're wondering why it's still the first half. Kickoff was delayed by half an hour. Abdul Rahman at full stretch there to try and keep that one in. Kickoff was delayed after we had a beautiful autumn's morning / lunchtime.
So the good news is, though, no extra time, which is amazing, so we still get to watch the Tillies.
Absolutely. Big night of Australian football coming up. But this place passed once again. Lual gets his jersey tugged by Gius and Rosie's pulling out wide. Lual rides the challenge, full of confidence. Why wouldn't you be? McNamara. Rose. McNamara's continued his run. Rose cuts inside. Morrison. Cop does well. That was a bazooka. He's brought it down with a velvet touch. Riles plays it out wide to Abdul Rahman against Tresoglovic. Manages to find some space for the shot, but Bosniak intercepts. Big collision there, and it ends up fizzling out and being picked up by Orlovic.
Just a beautiful passage of play there from the Wanderers, Dance. It looks like the Wanderers have all the space, all the time. The Olympic, on the other hand, can't seem to find that space and time, and you can clearly see in the way they're trying to score these goals here.
They're so calm under pressure, these youngsters. When you see them with the ball at their feet, they make great surgeons. They don't shake, they don't tremor, they don't seem to...
Looking like a prima damo in Sunday League.
I wish. I was a bit more of the Route 1, which we've seen a lot of in this game too. Here's Tresoglovic. Rare run forward for the Olympic left back because they've been pinned in their own half since conceding. Here's Fernandez. Giuson peeling out to the right. Can he find the cross? That's been the story of this first half. Crosses just finding white jerseys instead of blue ones.
Can't seem to find that final connecting ball.
And because of that, they haven't been able to get too much going in that final third. And Tristan Vidakovic, as you so perfectly put it, could have a coffee in his hand in this first half. And maybe he does, because there's a big night of football coming up. Not only Tilly's, lots of good NPL as well. And he's had a front row view for this beautiful Western Sydney half of football, which could get even better. Rose's shot deflected, and that took the sting off it.
I'm going to press you for the big one. Are we going to get a Tilly's prediction from you?
You will. I'm going to say Matilda's 1-0 Sam Kerr. What do you think?
I would agree. The Japanese, if you don't know, I'm a big fan of them on the UBA podcast. Give them a lot of shout out, the way they play their style through the academies, through the youth. But you got to go for the Aussies.
You have to. You have to. You know, I don't care. Oh, I like it. I don't care how we do it. I can actually see us maybe dragging them into a little bit of a dogfight.
Yeah,
and 1 goal. That's all it takes. Big tackle, and it was a fair one as well there from Hong. And a chance here to break. Cut off again from Barry, who, one of 3 changes by Pani Nikas, has been excellent, the young defender.
They've all worked, every single one of them.
Looking for Kimura that time, and a chance for Western Sydney to break once again. Here's Rose. Beautiful ball. Sits up perfectly there for Riles, who hits it, and it flashes over the crossbar. But that, once again, was beautiful by Western Sydney.
And I tried to start the stopwatch to see how long that would take, and it's so quick. And in transition, they look deadly.
Yeah, they are rapid in transition. They go from defending to goal bound in seconds, and I think we could be seeing more of that, particularly as we start to creep into the second half. Unless Olympic can get a goal. Beautiful tackle there by Kopp. He plays it out wide, looking for Abdul Rahman as well to keep it in. And in Sydney, we've seen them go direct. This time happy to just recycle it through their back line and play McNamara.
Julian Kopp didn't see much minutes last year. He's been a key integral part of this side this season. He's been excellent tonight as well. Just bringing a sort of tempo to the Wanderers' chaotic style of football, but it is working.
Definitely in that.
Wanderers lead 2-0 here at Belmore.
That front three is going to get a lot of praise, but you have to give flowers to each member of that midfield three as well. Both teams playing a 4-4-3 today, but 4-3-3, I beg your pardon. But well, it feels like Wanderers have an extra man at the moment. They move the ball around so crisply. Here they come once again, looking for Lual. It's here for Abdul Rahman. Good save by Orlovic. Olympic conceding a corner.
Again, McNamara with acres of space and time to deliver a great ball. Luau left it. And Abdul Rahman wins his team a corner. Great save from Orlovic, as you alluded to. Young keeper, he was at Sydney United last year as well. Didn't get much minutes under Jetovic. A tough task for any keeper.
It is. What a great pro to learn off, though.
Absolutely.
Looking to make number one here at Olympic his own. He's going to have to deal with this set piece. Oh, that was a little bit of a routine there. And it was hit. That would have been sensational.
Why not, Dams? When it bounces that nicely.
And when you're in the form that they're in, why not try it? Josip Orlovic replaced Jack Gibson. As we mentioned, wholesale changes at Olympic after the Australian Championship. If you're watching, you're a fan of the Australian Championship and you're watching that and saying, where did all these players go? Big wholesale changes. They only retained 4 players from last season, which is crazy. Here comes Kabora. Fernandez. Western Sydney Wanderers. Referee gets in the way. And we play on. Pivotal finish to this first half coming up for both teams. Olympic looking for a way back into the game. Will they get it from this cross from Giasson? Lovely ball! Marko Arambasic, and it was an excellent European handball goalkeeper-esque save there from Tristan Vidakovic, who hasn't had much to do in this first half, but when called upon, the Wanderers number one makes a huge save.
Incredible save with his leg. Last-ditch effort. And as you alluded to, that was pivotal time. Pivotal time for both teams.
Wouldn't that have been a handy time to score for Sydney Olympic? They might still do it here. They take the corner short. Looking for some space for the cross, and it went out. And that has been an issue in this first half. Unable to make any of these set pieces count.
Positive signs, though, from Olympic. Absolute positive signs with an intent to try and reduce this deficit to 1.
To see Marko Arambasic come into the game as well. Riles looking for Lual. Riles has come off the bench this season as well, but really making himself... Oh, nightmare here for Vidakovic, and a gift, but the flag is up. The linesman put the flag up straight away. Almost a little bit of confusion here. The flag has gone up for offside.
Correct, but the Wanderers defender made contact with the ball first. That's interesting there.
Yeah, and I think that's what Olympic were protesting as well. They would have...
You can see the fourth officials still having a chat to their coaching staff.
Saying that they're saying that the Olympic player came from an offside position, impacted play, hence why the Wanderers centre-back put his head on the ball, and nearly a horror moment between defender and goalkeeper there because Vidakovic came out to claim it. Yep. He then gets it lollipopped over him by his defender's head, and almost an absolute gift, even more so of a gift than the one that Wanderers got for Lual's second goal. And Olympic are going to have to put that in the rear view, and flag goes up once again, this time on McNamara.
But again, positive signs from Olympic. With intent to keep pushing, and that would have been a perfect gift and a just reward to their hard effort.
The tempo's definitely lifted since that Basic chance. It's a tight angle, it was a good save, and it's copped down here on Western Sydney. Let's hope it's not serious. It's been immense, not only today, but this season.
And absolutely the heart of that engine room in the midfield, as you alluded to, the Dams in that midfield three has been pivotal to their success.
He's down receiving treatment. Under is up by 2-0, and a Awan Lual double.
Dams, what's your assessment of this first half?
Sydney weathered the early storm, you could call it, I think, after a few minutes. And then I think just a bit of a story of Sydney Olympic season, which isn't necessarily playing poorly, but conceding, I wouldn't say soft. The second one definitely was a gift, but conceding easily, and that's been an issue for them. And conceding goals in bunches has also been an issue for them as well. And we saw that it looked very susceptible to conceding goals this season, and
because they can score, Dams.
They certainly can, and we saw that not only last season in the league, but also in the championship as well. The issue has been at the back. You concede cheap goals, and we saw that. Lual's first one, route one. Hugh had the timer out, Tommy. 5 seconds it probably took to go from end to end, and then a bouncing ball not dealt with. But I think if you're Paddy Nikas, you have to love what you're seeing so far, and he'd love a third goal here. Dinked for Lual, and a couple of occasions today, Tommy, we've seen that. A little bit nervy playing out from the back.
Just those key moments again. Orlovich not finding his intended man. Dams with 5 minutes to go in this first half. A crucial period here for Olympic. They need to find one. They need to half the deficit. Wanderers could game set and kill this match off.
Absolutely, and they certainly have the firepower to do so. We've seen it. You need to give them half a sniff and they'll make you pay, and that's what they've done to Sydney Olympic this afternoon. Olympic haven't been poor, and I don't think you can say that about too many performances this season. Of course, they were well off in that local derby against Rockdale, but just like last season, there's been a lot of good and a lot of bad, and unfortunately hasn't been enough good. But when they are on Sydney Olympic, they are fantastic to watch.
Just unfortunate for them, the bad moments are those key moments, and it's costing them because they can score goals. We keep saying it on the live stream, but they've got the talent up front. The Japanese dynamic duo, incredible, but again, you just can't lose those 50-50 balls like that.
Riles looking for a beautiful reverse pass for Abdul Rahman. Tommy, you mentioned it earlier, but a masterstroke there for Paddy Nikas, moving Abdul Rahman to the wing. We've seen him play across the front three, but this team looks very well balanced right now, with Lual playing at 9 and Abdul Rahman just terrorising them down that wing.
McNamara giving chase.
Oh, and pressing Orlovich there. A little bit too casual from the Olympic goalkeeper. Brilliant work from McNamara, who now has to run back. I'll tell you what does it with ease. Love to know what his beep test score is.
Very reminiscent of a Robertson, I believe, Adama.
Absolutely. Oh, my hamstring hurt just looking at that run. Cries of shoot from the crowd. It takes a touch, which took all the fizz off that one. And Vidakovic has only been called in to make one big save, and he made it. Made a flurry of big saves in a man-of-the-match performance last week. Beautiful feet, but then running out of room. Hong intercepts. Looking for Adam Basic, who may have came back from an offside position.
He did. Just on Vidakovic, obviously had some overseas experience as well, and you can see just oozes that class. And keepers don't have to be on for 90 minutes, and they don't often get as much as he faced last week, but when he was on, he's on.
We mentioned it, how hard it is to break into an A-League men's team, particularly as a goalkeeper.
Absolutely.
I'm looking for Callahan.
Especially when you've got the captain of the side, Lawrence Thomas, as well. Pivotal A-League experience, overseas experience.
He's a hard man. Very, as you said, very tough to break in to that spot. But I have a feeling we're going to be seeing him back in the A-League soon. Of course, he played a couple games last season. So did Jack Gibson, of course, who played for both Western Sydney and Sydney Olympic as well, and we are really, in this competition, spoiled with great goalkeepers.
Just a shame that Jacobson's gone over to VPL.
Yes.
Victoria, killing it over there. The performance last night from him.
Looks like he's loving life over at Avondale.
We can all agree the coffee's better in Sydney.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not falling for that Melbourne propaganda.
Olympic with a good passage of play. Happy just to hold on to it. Tried a bit of momentum to close out this first half. Here's Jason.
Can he keep it in? Yes, he can, and he's going to drive at McNamara, looking for the cross, and that's just been the thing that's missing so far from Sydney Olympic, that final cross, that final pass, that killer instinct in the final third. Gordon. Here's Jason. Wollongong Wolf. He's really growing into this game on that right-hand side as Sydney Olympic look for a way back into the game.
He's been their best player. I'll give you a second.
That's a fair shout. Jason, the skip past Rose and look for a cross. Floats it into the back post. That goes out, though.
That's a bit of commentator's curse. So sorry.
I'm a serial offender like that. Less than a few minutes to go here. So plenty of time. And we mentioned that game in 2024. Of course, that was in Blacktown. Western Sydney were up 2-0 that night.
Crazy things that happened.
Back in 2024. So plenty of time for Olympic to get back into this game and kickstart their season. Nothing would ignite it better than a comeback win at home. Of course, on our camera, you can only see construction for the Bulldogs Centre of Excellence, but fans on either side of us, Tommy,
Absolutely.
hungry for results. Lovely one-touch football, just slightly under hit, and Mazel does well there.
We can't really reiterate it enough. It's important to see a good Sydney Olympic do well. A good United, a good Marconi.
Go long, here they go. Callahan, lovely touch. Bailey Callahan! Oh, it's wide. That was beautiful from Callahan. First, the touch was like velvet, and then he managed to find some room to get a shot on his right foot, and he just couldn't curl it into the corner.
That was the moment.
That was the moment indeed.
Fell to the right man as well. Just unfortunate that did not end up in the back of the net from an Olympic standpoint. Perfect time as well, just before half time.
Would have been a dream for David Magrone. It would have been a coach killer for Pani Nikas to concede right before half time. Score remains 2-0, but Olympic didn't have really any chances, Tommy, you have to say, in the opening 30 minutes. Have had their best chance of the game just then, but another good chance to Marko Arambasic as well. Olympic really growing into that game, and that thought maybe it would come down the left-hand side, but it's been Gierson and Callahan looking dangerous down Olympic's right. Here's Callahan dropping more centrally now and laying it off to Hong. Looking for Gierson, and it doesn't sit up on that Belmore grass, which for Belmore standards is probably I'd say a 6.5, 7 out of 10. I've seen some cow paddocks here. I've also seen it looking lush. So I'd say this is somewhere in the middle. That particular part of the pitch, though, didn't sit up like Olympic would have hoped. And Dakovic is going to take his time here.
7th wonder of the world, Belmore Sports Ground, isn't it? Beautiful.
Absolutely. And that is the end of a very interesting first half. Western Sydney at their clinical best for the opening 35 minutes, but enough signs, Tommy, you have to say, for Olympic fans not to lose hope.
Absolutely. In that last 15, it was really Sydney Olympic. Sydney Olympic were pushing, trying to half deficit, even grab an equaliser, and they have had their chances, Damo. That's the good thing. Make sure to stick with myself and Adamo on Football New South Wales YouTube to catch an interesting second half.
Score at half time, Sydney nil, Western Sydney Wanderers Academy 2. Checking scores from other games. Half time, Western Raiders 2, Manly United nil. Northwest City Spirit nil. Linden nil. Away kickoff in the first half. Alcoa nil. Salem nil. Stay tuned for the second half.
It is the food.
And you don't, yeah, you don't need to look for it. It's low strength. When you want to feel so
I'm still in it, so.
I find, what do you find?
I'm on social media.
Okay.
Gyms.
Big 45 minutes coming up here at Belmore. Tommy, what do you make of that first half, particularly the end of it? Very interesting and Olympic with two chances, one big one to get back into this game.
Absolutely. I just felt like in that last 15, as you alluded to, the tide turned into Olympics' favour. I'll be interested to see what that break did. A little team huddle there, Adamo. It'd be nice to be in there and see what they said. But hopefully we're going to see by their changing momentum and tempo to try and get something out of this 2-0 deficit so far.
You can feel the urgency, as you mentioned. Team huddle to start the second half of Sydney Olympic. Wanderers came out of the tunnel just like they played. Cool, calm, composed.
Absolutely.
Tell you what, their manager, what a player he was, Paddy Nickus. Well, he's passed on that knowledge to his team in his opening 7 games.
An unchanged lineup as well, for both sides as well.
That's correct. And with the changing of sides, we now get Abdul Rahman on our side. How key was he in that first half?
Incredible, as we saw balls coming to him now. Set up that first goal with a wonderful cross ball.
Just looking to get around Bosniak. Doesn't that time, but we saw a lot of that in the first half. Diagonals, route one, as you so perfectly put it. And the best thing about route one, though, it's the most efficient way to the goal.
I'm going to add something to your commentator bingo.
Go.
It's not broke.
Do not fix it. Exactly right. And that's, I think, what Paddy Nickus will say. Of course, a couple chances, but an offside as well decision. Adam Basic coming back from an offside position. It then hit Ovens' head, looped over Vidakovic. Would have been an absolute catastrophe from a Western Sydney Wanderers perspective, but flag went up straight away.
It's been an interesting one there from our angle as well.
It was. It looked like the Olympics number 9 was coming back from an offside position, and that's a foul. Riles giving the foul away, and mentioned the great players that Western Sydney have had playing the NPL. Alex Bagolatos, Marcus Eunice's, Nathaniel Blair, Zach Sapsford. It looks like this is a bit of a next gen. It's
Absolutely.
last season was, I think, a little bit maybe what Sydney Olympics going through this season. A bit of a end of one era, start of a next. And now you're seeing the positive influence of players like Abdul Rahman and Lual, Jai Rose, tasting A-League football, coming back down
Absolutely.
to the NPL level.
Last year you saw was really the passing of the baton moment. They've had that year of experience now under the belt, and as you can see in these first 6 rounds, obviously, today's 7, it's been incredible so far these first 7 rounds. Hopefully, they can continue it for the rest of the season.
Number 14, Jacob Zezebla, has been replaced by number 11, Yorgos Luka, and number 18, Jim
Double sub there for Olympic.
Double change, Arbasic off, and Tresoglovic. Olympic on the back foot once again, Abdul Rahman. That tackle had to be perfect from Bosniak, and it was, but he's going to concede a corner. So double change from Sydney Olympic, and it's their top goal scorer coming off, and Jacob Tresoglovic as well. Local boy Yorgos Luka. Big raps on Olympics number 11.
What a name as well.
That is just, some things are meant to be. Yorgos Luka playing for Sydney Olympic. We've already seen him score 2 goals as well. Fujita gets the advantage. There's urge from the sideline to go forward. Kimura's made the run. Jun Young Kim in number 18 is the other change. So Kim, it looks like, going to sit in the middle of midfield.
He's going to try and do a Julian Cott role for the Sydney Olympic. Exactly what Cobb's done for the Wanderers, just trying to set the tempo and allow, from an Olympic standpoint, to go forward. He's the lad Abdul Rahman.
And that rapid counter-attack once again, Tommy. Cobb. He's been pulling the strings in midfield. Pirlo-esque. Can't press him either. Well, one there and then a foul. Haven't seen too much of the referee today, which I always say, Tommy, is the KPI of a great referee's performance.
Absolutely. But again, this is sort of first half, not too many fouls away, pretty even game, clean game. Last 5 minutes, Olympic standpoint, they've got a lot more. It was beautiful by Bosniak.
Beautiful
Got a lot
stuff
more
there.
of the ball, and Wanderers trying to just maybe win back the ball, arguably giving a few fouls away in the process.
Not giving away, and here's the substitute Kim. As you said, trying to emulate that cop roll in the middle of the park. Here's Luka. I have the urge to always say the full name, Yorios Luka. It's such a great name. That could be the best name in the NPL. Here's Ziggy Gordon. Made a shift in that front three. Continuing his run. Here is Kimura. It was a scorpion kick touch there, but he was offside. Fujita's now playing in that Arambasic number 9 role. Luka is out on the left, and you have to say probably the player of the first half from an Olympic standpoint. Callahan's still on that right-hand side.
Absolutely, and different profile of striker into that 9. More of a striker that's going to run into those channels and press for Dark, which as you've seen there. Hopefully that can pay dividends from an Olympic.
Is playing out from the back and giving away that time. I think without creating anything clear-cut in terms of goal-scoring chances, have made a good start to this half. I have to say, similar to what they did in the first half. Kimura's been lively, but just like we saw about 60 seconds ago, offside again. One thing that is a feature of Western Sydney, it doesn't matter who the manager is, you'll see them playing out from the back. Oh, they've been cool and composed though doing that. A couple of nervy moments for Olympic. Trying to do the same. It could be gobbled up, there it is, by Fernandez. Vidakovic, who very cruisy opening half an hour, was called into action. Make a sharp save with his feet at his near post to deny Arambasic. He's one of 2 halftime changes for Olympic as they look for a way back into this game. Trying to kickstart their season at the moment. They'll stay in the bottom 2. I haven't had the chance to go around the grounds, Tommy, yet and look at SofaScore. Luka does well. Kim, and it's Luka who wins the free kick.
Dangerous position as well.
It is. We haven't seen either team with a chance like this one from a set piece.
It's a lot better from Olympic though. They've started this half with intent.
Moving the ball a little bit sharply. It's Fujita and Fernandez standing over this one. It's Yuto Fujita! Almost curled it up and over the wall and into the top corner.
That one would have gone well wide from that angle.
Wow, it looked
Far
good off
out
the
as
boot.
well.
That change up front, Tommy, you called it the different profile of number 9, has resulted in Olympic just looking a little bit more fluid with the ball.
Absolutely, it's a different player profile that Barry is going to have to man mark there, and you can see he's just trying to separate himself there for Fujita. Cause that Wanderers back for a bit of trouble.
Luka dispossessed that time. Strong tackle there by Marshall. Now they go out to the left-hand side. Here's Rose. Jai Rose trying to skip past and find some room. He thought maybe he was fouled in defence of the Sydney Olympic. There, his touch did go out for a goal kick, so I don't mind referees officiating like that, just saying, where was the ball?
That's it. A few yellow card shouts as well from the crowd.
Crowd they're not at that stage where they're getting agitated yet, but there's enough signs here to keep the Sydney Olympic fans in high spirits. Hong. It's past a couple, but that last touch was a little bit heavy. Great challenge by Hong.
He's a lad.
Here is Mazel. This young Western Sydney backline has done a good job keeping a lid on Sydney Olympic, who we know can score and score quickly. Abdul Rahman offside. He thought he timed it perfectly then. A little break in play might give me a quick chance, Tommy, to have a look around the grounds.
Gotta love Sofa score.
Potentially huge result brewing in the southwest of Sydney. SD Raiders 2-0 up with 20 minutes to go against Manly.
Big result.
Be a huge result because it'll put them level with Olympic. Unless Olympic can get a result here, they'd love a goal. They'll take the corner though.
Good run by Bosanjak there. He sort of moved into this left back position. Started this second half. He's done really, really well with this team a corner.
Rockdale 1-0 up at Christie Park. Half time at Lambert. Sharks up 1-0 against Apia. 15 minutes gone. It's goalless between St. George and Marconi. It's 2-0 here to the away team. Fujita in the curl at that one, but straight into a Wanderers player. Chance for a second ball. Fernandez. Here's Kim. Flashes that one. I think that was the game plan there by the substitute.
I think you saw the ball boy in the same colour strip and went for him.
Better signs though, Tommy,
Massive, yeah,
from Sydney
massive.
Olympic. They've definitely started this half well. And they started the first half well, you have to say as well, but punished that inability to deal with that long ball. Definitely the case for the second one, not dealing with a bouncing ball, and Luwal back into the starting lineup. Came into this game with 3, he's now on 5. And out wide to Rose. Riles is possessed there. Kimura. Delicate ball there for Lucan. Oven sends that one out for another corner. Yuta Kimura grow into this game more and more in this second half.
Definitely the first 10 minutes of this second half have gone Olympics way. Let's see if they can make something on that in terms of a scoreboard metric.
Kim. Bosniak. That's ineffective once again. Chance from the second ball. Here's Kim. Space out wide for Fujita. Close down quickly. Looking for some room for the cross. Abdul Rahman getting back there and defending. You love seeing your wingers, strikers get back and do the dirty work. Chance here for the cross. And a perfect tackle once again by Nathan Barry, who's continued his run. Luwal holds it up and is fouled. And no surprises there.
First booking of the day, Adama. First Silla Cup.
Bit of dust on the referee's cards there. Hasn't had to use them, but Yuta Kimura goes in the book.
Adama, as you alluded to, 2-0 to the SD Raiders. Big result.
That would be a huge result because it would mean that they move to 4 points as well. We saw UNSW leapfrog Sydney Olympic with their win last night, so the promoted teams.
Yep. Things we love to see.
Yeah, we do. We certainly do, showing that they belong in the top tier. It's a substitution for Western Sydney. Jai Rose coming off Atia Waraga.
Brilliant goal that he scored against the Sharks. That went viral, wasn't
Absolute thunderbolt. Clipped up straight away. Got plenty of views, but we mentioned how good it is to have that front three back. He's a very handy replacement as well. And Kimura, who was just booked, he's also off for Max Lubaric. Lubaric on for Kimura. Waraga on for Rose. Both teams making a change. Olympic making a double change at half-time.
3 changes as early as
Already, yeah.
For Olympic.
Replaced number 10, Jai Rose, with number 11, Atia Waraga, and Sydney Olympic.
Raga's definitely another one of those players that has a high ceiling, doesn't he?
He certainly has. He's been part of extended benches for the A-League men's team as well. Spent some time MacArthur with the Bulls. Into a white brick wall there, and a chance now to break. Riles has got space out on the right-hand side. It's Elite Abdul Rahman, squares it for Lual. Brilliant by Lual. He did so well and then cleared off the line. Lual did brilliantly.
It wasn't for Jason. There's his hat-trick. Jason off the line, clears it. The Wanderers still looking dangerous here.
Lual, the composure to drag it onto his left foot and send a couple and then he shot cleared off the line by Giason to deny his hat-trick.
Dare I say it, Damo, that goes in. Is that game set a match?
I think it certainly could be. Is that going to be a turning point? Pencil it in.
Speaking of Jason, here he is.
Here is Giason. Can he make an impact now at the other end? He cleared one off the line. Pass was deflected. Past the hour mark here at Belmore. Biggest moment of the half, just when it looked like Olympic had the upper hand as they look for a way back into the game. Closest we've come to a goal, Awan Lual. Shot cleared off the line by Ben Giason. Here's Luca. Get around Marshall. Cramping up here by the looks of it. He's put in a shift at right back. The youngster, maybe just a bit of pickle juice needed.
He's been solid.
He has been.
Down this right flank.
You have to say that we said at the start, him versus Fujita was going to be where this game's won and lost. So I think it's always a testament to how good a fullback is playing when they have to move the winger.
Absolutely.
Marshall's been brilliant. You can say the same about McNamara, the other fullback.
It's an interesting angle, whichever way you look at it, on the onus of who it is to win that battle, the winger or the defender. He's definitely put his name in contention for man of the match. He's been wonderful, likewise with Colt from a Wanderers standpoint.
Definitely unsung heroes, fullbacks. Particularly because now with modern football, we seem to measure how good they are with assists. Attacking-wise, which shows you how much the game has changed, but a heavy challenge there. Abdul Rahman feels the effects of it.
Still limping there, big challenge.
The Olympic, though, with the ball in the attacking half, and they spray that one out. Thankfully, there's a net there, otherwise that would have ended up on the train tracks.
Jason has done everything tonight, he's just missing the goal.
Indeed. He hasn't stopped. Doesn't matter the score line. And Callahan, you could say the same thing. They've been the heartbeat of this attempted fight back from Sydney Olympic. On our topic of defenders and fullbacks. The defensive fullback's going out of fashion, but nothing better than seeing a fullback shut down a winger.
No, absolutely not. Definitely not. One of the drawing arts in football, Dana.
Certainly is.
Alongside the classic number 9 as we alluded to, kick off.
And Wanderers certainly have that. They were looking for him that time, but the cross was cut off, and Lubaric, one of 3 changes from Olympic as they look to get back into this game, but time is starting to run out, and I'm sure they would have felt that urgency this week at training when they looked at the table, but particularly after UNSW's result tonight and what looks like an SD Raiders win as well. Referee blows his whistle in favour of Sydney Olympic.
Love shouts there. Bit of protest from the Wanderers bench. Sydney Olympic again in dangerous position.
Can they make one of these count? Talking about things going out of fashion and in fashion. Set pieces are in fashion.
It's the new trend these days. Let's see if Olympic can make it count.
Arsenal-esque football here at Belmore. Olympic won't care how they get a goal. They just want a way back into this game. That's a better ball. Well dealt with. No, it's still there. It's Callahan's looking for some room for the shot. Bosniak squares it up for Luka. Clearance only half to Fajita, who skews it over the bar.
Got confused between the Belmore posts there. Went for the conversion. Fortunately, just went over.
You're right. If the Bulldogs were playing here, that would have been 2 points. But Wanderers not dealing with the first ball or the second ball. And
it's a wonderful delivery, though, Adamo. It's all those set pieces are so pivotal. It relies on the delivery.
Haven't seen that today.
No.
From Olympic. They haven't made those count, but that one they did. You could tell the second it left his boot there, it was going to cause problems, and it did. And just a bit over 20 minutes to go here.
Still water play for you, Adamo.
Certainly. Interestingly, Western Sydney's entire bench up, warming up. No one for Olympic warming up. Olympic have made 3 changes. I wouldn't be surprised if Nikas makes a couple as well, as he looks to wrap up a 3rd win on the trot. And they go long looking for Callahan. But no one up in support, so he just tries to hold it up and wait for some reinforcements. He does really well, but then back to help out was Waraga, and he now looks to break. Just looking for Luwal, cut off. Lubaric. Good sustained pressure here from Sydney Olympic.
It's been a testament to the second half for Olympic. Luwal, haven't really seen this second half, which is better from an Olympic standpoint because they've really spent the majority of this game inside Wanderers' defensive half, which is good to see. Obviously chasing the game, needing that goal.
They're still looking very compact in defence, though, and I mentioned earlier when you watch these academy teams that sometimes their best attribute can be their Achilles heel, is that they don't have another gear. They just attack. But you're seeing Wanderers defend now, and they're going to have to do it once again. Bosniak, good ball in. It's a great ball. It just needed a blue jersey on the end of it. They might get it now. It's blocked and then cleared.
Wanderers defending desperately here, defending for their lives, protecting this 2-0 lead. Olympic keep coming in waves.
Best period of the game, you have to say, for Olympic, Tommy.
Can't argue with that, Adamo.
It's wave after wave at the moment. Just that final killer ball, that final pass, final cross, just slightly over here or under here. That's been the difference so far.
Great ball by Gordon.
Straight out of the Wanderers handbook that time, going long. Ziggy Gordon.
If you keep an eye on Bosniak, he's been incredible. This move to left back, he's been pivotal to their attacking.
He has, offering them a different outlet on that left-hand side. And you're seeing Hong drop in at centre-back, which is what he's done throughout the season.
Just keep an eye on Darkovic. Just maybe cocked a bit of Giason's trailing elbow. Just received some treatment here for Tristan.
Got Lucas Sinnott on the bench as a backup goalkeeper, and he's doing a little light warm-up. Crazy game all the way back. In 2024, Lucas Sinnott was on the bench that day, one of the last remaining members of that game. Jesse Cameron, another substitute for Wanderers. He was also
20 minutes remaining.
at Wonderland that night, Baby Wonderland as I like to call it.
With 22 minutes remaining.
They've got some beautiful facilities down there. Don't
Late
they?
game.
They do.
First half.
It is a beautiful place to go and watch football. SD Raiders 3-1 up, Tommy, with a few minutes to go. So I think it could be fair to say, unless we see something crazy, they're going to wrap up their first win in the top flight of the NPL.
Ever, by the way.
Ever.
Incredible.
Last night we saw UNSW do that, and SD Raiders are going to do the same, which is incredible, and it shows you not to write off the promoted teams for sure.
It's important psychologically for both those teams as well to show that they can compete and take points of these so-called traditional mainstays of the NPL 1 competition.
Absolutely, and it's so congested at the bottom of the table as well. And what's fascinating is some of the names sitting in precarious positions. Teams like Olympic, Blacktown. No one could imagine a team like Blacktown, who've been the gold standard of the NPL in the 21st century, getting relegated. Still a long time to go.
Minor Premiers a couple of years back as well.
Exactly.
Can't knock that.
They were champions the year that Sydney Olympic were premiers back in 2022. 4 years is a very long time in football. Of course, Olympic would have wished that New South Wales brought in the first past the post rule that came in a year later. And that is just the added element of New South Wales NPL football is the 30-round season plus finals as well. Speaking of finals, this win, Western Sydney could end up in the top 6. Misplaced pass there from Waraga.
They switched sides, Varaga and Abdul Rahman. See if they can try and break down Olympic, because the Olympics' defence has been excellent in the second half.
Haven't seen the front three as much as we saw them in the first half, of course. The Olympic playing much better in this second half than they did in the first. But if there's a team that's happy to just feed off scraps, it's Western Sydney. They don't need much to hurt you. And I feel like the more Olympic poor players forward, you could maybe see them susceptible to the counter once again, but it's Olympic on the ball.
Again, Adama, you look at that front three, that's arguably one of the best front three in the league. Excited, attacking, young, dynamic. Exactly what you want in your wingers and your forward players.
X factor is what comes to mind when I look at that front three.
Love it.
Chance here. Oh, he saw the ball. Lubaric there. And Luca and Fujita were in on goal, but it was intercepted at the last second, and it goes out for an Olympic corner. The set pieces have been getting better. So for anyone wondering, SD Raiders were 3-0 up. Manly did pull a goal back. We're heading into added time in that game, and Apia have made it 1-1 against Sutherland as well. No change to the halftime score here, unless the Olympic can make this count, or Wanderers can sting them on the counter. Won't happen now, though. Too well to hold the ball up, and a nice turn as well. Callahan, who came the closest to getting Olympic back into this game and has been great in what he's looking after 75 minutes as being a losing effort.
15 minutes to go. It's not into desperate times yet, Adama, for Sydney Olympic. But definitely
Certainly
positive.
getting close. Awkward one there for Barry, and an excellent touch, and now a chance for Western Sydney to break. Oh, and that final pass. Tell you what, that touch from Riles was velvet.
So to say I've never done one of those in my life, Adama.
And I can say I'll never do one of them in my life. Even if you gave me no defenders around me, you plonked me at Belmore with no one else.
Under the lights,
No chance. Cheetahs really looked more dangerous since moving into that number 9 role, Tommy. And as you mentioned, Bosniak, it's been good halftime changes, but unless something changes soon, it could be too little too late. Definitely looked more composed at the back. points right on cue now, and foul on Riles, and a couple more players getting ready to come on, it looks like, for Western Sydney. Looks like it's going to be Lachlan Satut and Tristan Arate. Arate started last week. Lockie Satut bag a goal off the bench in that win against the Sutherland Sharks. If you could do the same tonight, Tommy, you feel like one more goal would certainly ice things.
Absolutely.
For Western Sydney. They are going to make that double change when the ball goes out. Will they be doing it after a killer third goal? Here's Araga. He's got 4 players in the middle. He picks one out. And that could be a third straight win for the Western Sydney Wanderers.
Dare I say, the Damo, game, set and match. A wonderful ball by Baraga. And the West Sydney Wanderers have a 3-0 lead. Became a 5v3 there, Adamo, on that ball. It's all up to delivery, and Baraga puts it on a plate.
Did well. They were queuing up at the back post there.
Goal to set Western Sydney Wanderers Academy in the 77th minute. Scored by number 9, Awan Lual.
Confirmation, that is Awan Lual's hat-trick.
Damo is set at the start. Breakfast, lunch and dinner. He's completed
The three-course meal is
it.
complete. Teo Waraga. He did well to pick out the right pass, because as he was bearing down on goal there, I don't know where those players, they must have came out of the ground. Because there were 5 Wanderers players. He picked out the right one though. Get it to my man who's on a hat-trick, Awan Lual. Came into this game, their top goal scorer with 3. He gets 3 today.
On 6 for the season.
And, well, no one had scored 6 before this round had started. I haven't had a check at the other games going on simultaneously here, but I'm going to say it's safe to say he's probably the top goal scorer in this competition.
6 goals in 7 games, Adamo. Not a bad return.
Not bad at all.
Olympic will need a miracle here.
And don't be surprised, I think, if you see him featuring more regularly than he already has for the Western Sydney Wanderers A-League men's team. That tackle looked late.
The substitutions in the 76th minute by Western Sydney Wanderers Academy. Number 7, Alak Hakurana. Number 13, Noah Evans. And number 20, Harper Wiles have been replaced by number 16, Tristan Arate. Number 27, Lachlan Satut. And number 30, Marcus Savage.
I don't know if you can pick up the ground announcer.
In the 77th minute, number 34, Marcus Fernandez, replaced by number 23,
A lot of substitutions there, Adamo. So
There was. I didn't want to compete with the ground announcer there. Maybe you guys picked him up on our effects, Mike. But Brooklyn Malia on for Marcus Fernandez for Sydney Olympic. Triple change for the Wanderers. Arate, Satut and Savage on. Abdul Rahman, Ovens, and as I give my old eyes a test here, Upper Rise off. Triple change there from Western Sydney.
Done what Adamo. My eyes last time I checked at 2020. I think I might.
I think mine are more. Mine are lower. I think mine might be 18 or 17.
In the right or left eye, which one's the 18?
I think both. As I get older, as I approach 30, they're starting to deteriorate. And you had a feeling, didn't you, that Olympic were going to pour players forward and leave themselves susceptible to something like that, and they are just clinical, this Western Sydney Wanderers Academy team.
When you're chasing the game like that, Adamo, that's the risk you take. You have to accept that risk.
Absolutely.
And as a famous man once said, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
And that is what you have to do. And credit to Western Sydney. Waraga's cross, they managed to go from defending to having 5 players in the box for him to pick out. Go long for Lual. Can he get a 4th?
It was funny for us because
there, and he goes down. Hopefully that's cramp. Olympic putting it out of play.
He looks to be okay, which is good. It's funny for us, Adama, because we waited a couple of minutes after that because there was 4 or 5 players. Rogers' ball was that excellent. There was 4 or 5 players that if Luau didn't score,
Someone would have got the goal. I wonder, we couldn't hear anything, but I wonder if one was just shouting, leave it, it's mine. No one was taking the hat trick off the big number 9.
Games.
Yeah, it's
Great return.
another very exciting player, and wouldn't be surprised if we see him feature more regularly for the A-League men's team. He's Waraga, the man who set him up. Tommy, just looking on Sofa Score, how good is it? Brilliant. Live ladder. SD Raiders have won 3-1, their first win. If the result stays this way, 3-0, Sydney Olympic would be in last position.
Wow.
Which is incredible, and that was nearly incredible. Waraga, who set one up, he wanted to get on the score sheet. Good save there by Olovic, and we're at this stage now, Tommy, it's damage limitation time.
Absolutely. Olympic, they missed their golden period just after the second half. They had a 15-minute golden window. They couldn't manage to capitalise. Had a few chances. The Darkish with a good save. And now it is absolutely about damage limitation, as you alluded to. Short quarter for the Wanderers.
Here's Kopp. If there's someone who deserves a goal, it's Julian Kopp. He wins a corner. I have to say, though, despite Olympic playing much better in this second half, a couple of shots that were blocked, it's been pretty comfortable performance from Western Sydney defensively as well. Barry's been immense, and they've done a good job containing Olympic.
So, Damo, if I can pressure you for a minute of the match, besides the obvious answer, Luan Luau, from a Wanderers standpoint, who would that be?
Been very impressed with Julian Kopp. He's been excellent in the middle of the park, pulling the strings.
Here he is again with a beautiful ball.
Great ball. I tell you what, I have to give a shout out to Nathan Barry as well. One of 3 changes, came back into the starting lineup. And he's been rock solid at the back. As have both fullbacks. It's hard. Now I'm just going to name every player. So you know what? I'm going to say Julian Kopp would be my pick. If I can't give it to Luau, who's going to take home the match ball. We don't actually do the 3-1.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. So I'm sure whoever is doing it is going to give it to them. Yeah, maybe that's something they bring in 2027. They've brought in 2 commentators. Now they bring in us picking the 3-2-1. Can Wanderers get a 4th? They can. And this is becoming a nightmare for Sydney Olympic. But Wanderers are in dreamland. They've just put 4 past the home team. If there was any doubt about the result, now it's been put to bed.
Damo, your main man, Julian Kopp, gets the goal. It was Julian Kopp with a wonderful effort off the ground. I believe Julian Kopp off the ground gets the rebound and puts it in the net. We'll await confirmation here.
Goal for the Western Sydney Wanderers Academy in the 83rd minute. Scored by number 16, Tristan Arante.
There we go, Tristan Arante, not Julian Kopp.
The man who's just come on. Beautiful, the beauty of commentating the NPL. Scrubbing through the YouTube feed as we had a look. I saw 16. Tristan Arate.
Along the wall was replaced by number 16, Tristan Arante.
Both of us, you can tell who's the pro. You waited for the ground about conversation.
Don't worry, Tommy. I've done that many times. I've done it. You know what, though? To use the cliche, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Correct, there you go. Correct. Jesse Cameron as well, just come on.
One of the last remaining members from that golden generation Wanderers team of a couple years ago, that famous night that I've mentioned a few times. Jesse Cameron was there back in 2024. He's seen the great names that this team has produced in the last couple of years, but it looks like, Tommy, it could be another batch of great Western Sydney Wanderers players coming through.
Definitely an attacking sense as well.
Lunging in there.
He's given it a penalty here at Damo.
And a penalty for Sydney Olympic. Paddy Nikas will be filthy with that one, Tom. They've done so well. They've been so comfortable defensively, and you can see Nikas remonstrating there. He wanted the clean sheet.
We did. Still a chance here, though.
Still a chance. Right, Vidakovic is in great form. He's going to go up against Fujita.
And he's about 7'6" Vidakovic, so he's got every chance here that he's still a clean sheet. It's an Olympic, though, to get a consolation here, late on.
Fujita against Vidakovic, and Vidakovic saves. Second chance there for Olympic. They deserve the clean sheet, Tommy. We mentioned it, and I tell you what, Tristan Vidakovic might just get it.
He'll be happy with that one, and we caught it here at Damo. It's an imposing figure from the spot.
He's a big man, Tristan Vidakovic, and it would have been unfair, I'm going to put it, because their back line has been so good. It was the type of challenge maybe you see at this stage of the game. A little bit careless. A couple of these wonders was, I'd say, Tom, that they're planning on going out. Some of them probably aren't even the legal drinking age. So I don't know, maybe they're just planning to go home.
We're not encouraging that at all.
No, definitely not. But, you know, they're going to go home. They're going to watch the Tillies and have a couple Coke Zeros. Maybe Gatorades, actually, after their impressive performance
as well.
Yeah, just get the sugar post-game. You know what? You do need it. Good point. Here's Barry. I tell you, if someone's earned themselves an ice bath and a Gatorade, it's him. And the commentators curse right on cue.
What flavour Gatorade are you, Adam?
I'm a big grape guy.
Grape guy?
Yeah, grape. What about yourself?
Mountain Blast Blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like blue, and the issue, I don't like the effect it has on your lips.
Yeah.
You look...
But we can all agree, if you choose gold, you're a bit of a...
You're an odd person.
I'll tend to agree with that one, Adam.
Sure, Sydney Olympic. I've probably felt this way for the last 10 minutes. They just want to hear the referee's whistle.
Absolutely. It's been a tough night, and from an attacking standpoint, that penalty, if that doesn't go in, it sort of paints a picture of how your 90 minutes is going.
And it's an important one because we mentioned for and against Iggy Gordon. He does really well there to dance his way out of trouble.
So does that confirm
SD now have leapfrogged Sydney Olympic. So that goal was important, not just for consolation, but because on the live ladder, Sydney Olympic, SD and Blacktown all on 4 points. Blacktown still to play. They play Sydney United tomorrow. Great game. SD Raiders' goal difference is -6. Sydney Olympics is -8. So even with that consolation goal,
he's Viraga as well.
They could be sitting last. It takes a deflection. A favourable one there for Orlovich.
So add salt into the wounds of Olympic. Olympic looking to get a consolation here.
Doesn't get any easier for Sydney Olympic. Next week, they're away at Wollongong. They didn't follow that up with a home game here against the Sutherland Sharks. There's no such thing as an easy game, but they've got a tough fortnight coming up. Just that solitary win this season. It came against the SD Raiders. And despite SD playing a majority of that game with 10 men, we saw Olympic at their best. And we saw them at their best for a majority of that game against St. George City, a game where they led by 2 goals, only to draw the game 2-2. And that's been their Achilles heel in the last few seasons. Wanderers want more. They want 5, and they do not get it. It's been a 5-star performance, and they almost got the 5th goal.
Absolutely. Jesse Cameron down the wing, looking to get an assist to his name. Damo just creeping in on the 90th minute here. The Wanderers, as you alluded to, 5-star performance. Can't get much better than this, can it?
No, certainly can't. And I think Paddy Nickus, the cherry on top will be the clean sheet.
Again, Olympic.
Can they get a 5th? They want blood, Western Sydney. I think if you're Paddy Nickus, can you fault anything in this performance? I mean, if they were to concede right now, maybe that would be one, but it has been pretty flawless, it has to be said.
5-star performance, absolutely. I think they've won in every key battle, in every area of the field. They definitely won the midfield battle. Definitely, and if you win midfield battle, you win 7 out of those 11 battles, you tend to win the game.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. That's been the case. They've been clinical, they've created chances and finished them. Olympic will look at those 2 chances they had right before half-time as they dink that one in, and that's just catching practice for Tristan Vidakovic, whose reputation continues to grow. He's already very highly rated, featured for the A-League men's side before, but he's been reminding people the last fortnight He's amongst one of the best in the competition.
Quality keeper.
And Western Sydney, it's tough, Tommy, because there's a period after the A-League season where some of these players will need to have a break. But if they can keep this core throughout the season, this is a team that can play finals.
Easy, without a shadow of a doubt. And again, we keep mentioning, but that attacking three is up there with the best. With the best in this competition. And then behind them, Cop, Arate off the bench. It's an incredible crop of youngsters that they've got here at Darwin.
As you mentioned before, every part of the pitch excelling. The front three, the midfield three control it, and then rock solid from the back four. Here's Cameron. Satut, close to adding a fifth. Nice pass. Missed time to run, however. We're about 40 minutes away from Tilly's time. Tom, did I get a prediction from you? You got mine. Yep. I think it's going to be a 1-0 Matildas win. What are you saying?
2-1. 2-1 Adama. I think we'll score first. I think we'll get him. I think the crowd will get behind us. I think Japan will then respond. And I think we'll get it out in normal time, though.
And if you can multitask, what you're going to do is, if you're watching that game, fire up the phone and watch a bit of NPL football as well. You've got St. George and Marconi. What a game that is. You've got St. George City in action. They would have actually kicked off.
Yes.
Plenty of football. You can just have a football bender.
Or you can stay at Belmont and watch the 20s.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. And is when you're watching the 20s of the Wanderers, you're probably watching someone that's going to be playing first grade the next week.
Correct. The academy side of the NPL, it's a wonderful prospect and an eye into what they do on a daily basis.
It is incredible. It really is. And some of these youngsters went from playing under-18s football last year. Some of them play under-18s. Some of them started this season playing under-18s football and then make the jump up to play men.
Absolutely.
Misplaced pass there. We are well and truly in consolation territory here now. There's only some soul-searching to be done at Belmore this week, Tommy, before they make a trip to Wollongong.
Tough trip all the way down to the Gong.
It is a tough away trip, that's for sure. And they're going to have to start this week at training as the team that is bottom after 7 rounds in the New South Wales NPL. Sydney Olympic, this great football club that's housed some great Socceroos.
4-0 at home as well.
At home, we expected a response.
We did, absolutely. And rightfully so after the fortnight that they've had.
But what we got was Western Sydney showing us that these youngsters are the real deal.
And these academy sides, aside there for Olympic, but these academy sides, they've known to have moments and passages of play, but they put a 90-minute performance today, Dharma.
They have.
Absolutely wiped Olympic off the field.
And you associate Western Sydney Academy teams with great attacking football, but defensively, they have been rock solid. A perfect performance from the Western Sydney Wanderers. Sydney Olympic came into this afternoon's game looking for a response, and in the relegation zone, what we got was Western Sydney showing that these youngsters might just be the Golden Gen 2.0 of Baby Wonderland ballers that we've seen come through the academy in recent years. Western Sydney Wanderers are legit, Tommy. A 4-0 win for them, an impressive performance, but the big storyline coming out of this one will be that Sydney Olympic are bottom of the table.
When have we ever heard that?
Crazy.
Not for a long time. And it's sad, Sydney Olympic, but again, you've got to give a lot of credit to the Wanderers into those final positions now as well. As you alluded to, Adamo, 5-star performance, they are the real deal. I can't wait to see them going forward in this competition.
The man of the match, no doubt, will be the hat-trick hero, Awan Lual. Moved his goal tally to 6. 3rd win in a row for Western Sydney. Bit of soul-searching to be done for Sydney Olympic. They end this round bottom of the table. Still plenty of time to go, though. This is round 7 out of 30 in the New South Wales NPL. Thanks for joining me and Tommy. We'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Final score here at Belmore. Sydney Olympic 0, Western Sydney Wanderers 4.
Up the Tillies.
Otherwise, go to Matilda.
maybe the delay was good.
That's it. Get the kettle on.
Thanks, mate. Love it, come out.
Alright, we are done. I've got the message, so I'm assuming quickly.